Hi everyone, it's Becky here. So I hope you're enjoying a great weekend. And today I'm gonna give you a sketchbook tour of one of my old sketchbooks from 2019, the year before the COVID-19 pandemic started. It was kind of like the last summer of happiness before COVID started. So this was a really great memory. So if you have seen my previous sketchbook tour, I mentioned that this sketchbook is from Opus art supply store in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and it has its own watercolor sketchbook under its own brand. As this sketchbook has very durable watercolor paper, very high percentage of cotton. The paper weight is 140 pounds, so very heavy. And the binding is perfect bound. It's pretty much like a picture book. Nice and sturdy. The cover is like very thick cardboard. It's great for carrying around. So I started the sketchbook on the first day of August in 2019. From 5:20 to 6:15 p.m. I still remember that day. After my work at preschool, and I stayed around Falls Creek seawall at Olympic Village before I go home. It took about 1 hour to sketch around my workplace very often back then when I was working as a preschool teacher. The next page, on August the 2nd, it was another day after work in a different location in Vancouver. I think this one was around Yaletown, Vancouver. This is the Yaletown seawall. It was a really warm, sunny day. And then the next day I sketched some tomatoes, homegrown in our garden. And these are my mom's homemade blackberry juice fermenting. And then I went on a day trip to North Vancouver, Deep Cove, with my parents, and I sketched the view from the very top of our hiking place. I think it was at Quarry Rock, and that day was really hot. I was sitting under the sunshine, sitting on a rock, and sketched this view below. And then after we came down from the hiking spot, I sketched the sunshine and the little bay here with boats. August 7th, I sketched my lunch and my readings back then. August 8th, another day after work around Chinatown, Vancouver. This is the central part of Chinatown. There was the International Village Mall, and there's another Chinese supermarket over here. Very busy. And I really like the evening sunshine and the shadows. And August 9th, another evening after work at International Village in Chinatown. There wasn't any sense of perspective here. There were a lot of glass apartment buildings behind, and this was the Chinatown SkyTrain station with people passing by. I think the people in the front are giving a really nice proportion to the buildings and everything behind. And then Saturday, August the 10th, I went blackberry picking with my parents, and I sketched in the field. And here's a basket of blackberries that I picked. Monday, August the 12th, another day picking blackberries with my parents. The cloud forms were really charming, and I always love sketching skies with clouds. Tuesday, August the 13th, another after work sketch from 6 to 6:40 p.m. after work at Yaletown Quayside Marina. just an ordinary view, but I think the memory is much more important than the aesthetics. We don't have to pick perfect views, perfect subject matters to sketch. Anything can be part of our memory. And on August the 14th, I sketched some berries. And then on August the 15th, we went on a camping trip, driving hours north from Vancouver to Portu Cove on sea to sky highway. So around 9 p.m. ish, I did a quick sketch before it gets dark. This one was actually done before, from 8:15 to 8:45. Sunset at Portu Cove. Nice and calming, lapping water and sky. It's high tide, so the beach is all covered up. Very nice memory, sitting by the waterside with my mom the summer before the pandemic started. And then the next day, August the 16th, we drove a little bit more north of Vancouver and we hiked up Joffrey Lake. This one was the most beautiful lake on the hiking trail. This one was the middle lake. There were 3 lakes on the way to the peak. The color of the water is just so magical. This was a really gorgeous view. Saturday, August the 17th, just my simple cup of tea, and then around 8:30 I sketched the gray evening clouds at sunset. August the 18th, I sketched some peaches and this ginger ale soda bottle, plastic. On Monday, August the 19th, I sketched some more containers, classical pasta sauce, and my mom's preserved plums. And I also sketched my reading back then and some grapes. Really nice match with the book. And on August the 20th, another after work sketch around 5:25 to 6:20. I think this one was around Yotown too, at George Wayneborn Park. It's getting cloudy now. Rain is on the way after work at Charleston's. And on August the 23rd, we harvested some more tomatoes from the garden, big and small ones, and I sketched them. I also sketched half a pumpkin that my mom used for stew for dinner. And I think it was getting closer to the day that I leave for Montreal to start my graduate school. So I went to the Vancouver Art Gallery before I go to look at the artworks. And so I got my breakfast at Take 5 Cafe around the art gallery and the scone. And this was one of the sculptures at the art gallery by the famous artist. A really nice, interesting contrast with the sculpture and this real person here. And on August the 24th, I sketched some corns. On August the 25th, I sketched some pistachios and a cookie. And around 7 p.m., I sketched the evening view outside one of our living room windows. On August the 25th, we went on another day trip to Cypress Mountain. I think it's in West Vancouver. This was at the very end of the hiking trail where we could see the other parts of Vancouver. It's a really great time before the pandemic started. I really miss those days. And on August the 27th, I sketched Blueberry Bagel. And in the evening, I sketched the sky outside my windows. Wednesday, August the 28th, I sketched my lunch and then afternoon snack, some mini tarts, and the living room view. On August the 28th, I think still, I sketched the evening sky outside and my guppy fish. On August the 29th, I sketched my pizza and my favorite caramel macchiato at Blend's Coffee in downtown Vancouver. On August the 30th, I sketched the tomatoes before my dad harvested them. It's a really nice study of the veins, the leaves, all of the overlapping, and these red tomatoes. And it started to rain. As you can see, there are some raindrops before I could finish painting. And still on August 30th, I sketched some, spicy bean curd and my mom's stir-fry dish. On August the 31st, the last day of August, a few days before I left for Montreal to start my grad school, I took a last walk around my neighborhood park and I sketched this view and another view. This one was really quick, much more simplified than my usual style. A quick 20-minute sketch focusing only on the essence of the scene. Still, August the 31st, last day at home before I left for Montreal to start grad school. So around 3 to 4 p.m., I sketched this view sitting in the kitchen. Where is it right now? The kitchen. And here is the kitchen sketch that I did 2 years ago. Even though now I'm staying still in the same place, but a lot of things have changed. Yeah, we're having really nice big windows here in the kitchen, and I can always enjoy the views outside season after season. And that's it for this sketchbook. It took me 1 month to fill it up. It only has 30 pages. And again, this sketchbook is from Opus Art Supplies. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please click like and leave me a comment below. If you have any questions or suggestions, just feel free to leave me a comment below. And so my thesis is going pretty well. Today I just finished chapter 5. And I just have the very last chapter to finish, chapter 6, which is the conclusion chapter. And I'll be done. I think I will be ready to send my thesis draft to my professor on Monday. And I'll wait for her suggestions and comments. Have a great weekend.